Most roofers think a site supervisor is an added expense. I'm going to show you why that's wrong and how, when you do the math, a site supervisor actually pays for themselves and makes you money. Let's break this down using real acquisition costs and real close rates.
A lot of times when we introduce this concept to people, they're like, well, site supervisors cost money. And it's like, you're right. They cost between $15 to $21 an hour plus $150 a lead. Here's how they don't cost money. What that means is that if we're getting $300 leads, closing at 30% is $1,000 cost of acquisition, right? $300. If you close at 30%, you're spending $1,000 in marketing costs to acquire a customer. But this is where it gets interesting. If you were to guess in a percentage, how much better is your close rate on referrals and people from around the jobs than it is from cold leads that just didn't estimate? So if you say 30% is your normal, if you normally close at 30 and referrals and people from around your jobs close at 45%, that would be 15% better. So let's use the math of 40%, so 10% better than the alternative. So if you're paying a site supervisor $15 an hour to $21 an hour, let's use an average of $17.50 an hour. So let's start here. $150 site referral, closing at 40%, so just 10% better than usual, 30 to 40%. Then that's a $375 customer acquisition cost, right? Because if you go 150 divided by 0.4, you get 375. So if your usual cost of customer acquisition is $1,000, you subtract $375, your customer acquisition cost on site referrals, that means you have $625 left over. Well, if you're paying $17.50 an hour and you get one of these site supervisor referrals every 2 days, which is below trend. We have some people who get 1 or 2 per job. That's where all of a sudden all of this starts to make sense and pay for itself. And you get one every 2 days. Well, your cost of $17.50 an hour, let's say, times 10 hours is $175 a day. Every 2 days, that's $350. So when you go $625 savings minus $350 in input cost, this number could be higher, could be in overtime, but you're usually making $275 a day profit by just, instead of spending $1,000 per customer like you over here in your top of funnel marketing, whether it's Facebook or canvassing or Google or carrier pigeons or billboards, you're usually spending $1,000 on customer acquisition. The savings over here pays for the site supervisor. So this costs nothing. When we add the site supervisor referrals, this becomes a cash cow. But like anything, it has to be executed well. And they don't need to be roofing experts.